You need 2 circular needles, doesn't matter about the length as long as they're both the same size. And you take one of your circular needles and leave a bit of a tail there, make your slip knot in your yarn and put it on your needle. Then using that...
You keep taking it out of focus.
Using that tail of yarn, just thumb over and loop it on. So I'm just going to put 10 stitches on here. So there's 4, 5, 6. So it's just over the thumb and over there like that. And that'll do. Oops. So you slide those on there. You've still got plenty of yarn left there. Now with those stitches, you slide them onto the cable. Turn your yarn round so you're still using that tail of yarn, not the active yarn, and get your other needle. Leaving those stitches on the cable. Now what we're going to do is work in between those 2 stitches. So you put it in there, in between the 2 stitches like that. Take your tail of yarn and knit that stitch. Knit that through, but don't slide it down. Then you repeat that through each space along the cable. Now you're going to have 1 less stitch when you cast on with this method, or 1 more depending on it, whether you've cast on 1 extra at the beginning, and I just either add a stitch or decrease a stitch on that first round. So we just go all the way through to the end there like that, in between the 2 stitches, pulling that tail yarn through. So just keep going till you get to the end. There's only 1 or 2 more to go. And then there's the last one there. So there we've got a double lot cast on there that looks like that on one side and that on the other side. So now what we're going to do is go to that active yarn, which will be here. Now the tail will always signify the beginning of the round, and we're going to make sure you've got the active needle then. Grab the other end of your yarn, of your needle, and knit those stitches off like that. Just knit the stitches to the end. When you do the other side, you may need to knit into the back of the stitch to tighten them up a bit, and that's all you have to do. So I'll just knit this to the end. I hope you can see this nice and clearly. So we're just knitting in the front of the stitch as you'd normally make a knit stitch on that first one. Alright, so we've got to the end, slide that onto the cable, then take your other cable, your other circular needle, push those up there like that. Then you can see that this one's a little bit loose, so make sure you just knit that in the back of the stitch, and that will tighten that up nicely. And make sure you've got that correct yarn end. Whoops. Knit that off. And knit to the end of the row. These are a bit hard to get off because it's so hot. Here we go, nearly finished. And then when we finish that, I'll show you what it looks like. And then that's when you start with your pattern. That's the cast on using, that's my modified method of Judy's Magic cast on. I couldn't quite figure hers out off the video, but I've developed this one of my own. So there we are, and that's mine there.